Hey guys, welcome back to Ken Said Myself. I should say good morning to you. It's morning for me here in Tokyo, Japan. Look, I'm just going to get right down to it. The new Supergirl teaser has debuted. There was a teaser of a teaser. I saw that too. Even that thing with her sitting, I don't know if she was chewing bubble gum and a ship came down and that was cool. Okay. As you may or may not know, I was a huge fan of James Gunn's Superman. And one of my favorite scenes was seeing Kara Zor-El show up in Superman. That was awesome. Just that one character reveal of Supergirl, he really let more of himself come out. Even though he's not directing this Supergirl movie, I heard. I don't know. But anyway, we'll talk more about that after the teaser. Let's check it out. Okay. Crypto's back. Where in the world is this? Superman saves that. Oh my. No!
You managed to get most of it on the paper this time. Good job, buddy.
Okay, welcome to this world.
I, Kara Zor-El, hereby declare that 23 will be the best year yet.
23, eh? This is what Soup says she was doing.
To be honest, babe, it's not a very high bar to clear.
Greg Gillespie. I don't know him.
If he was still alive, what was it like to lose everything in a day?
Oh.
Krypton didn't die in a day. The gods are not that kind.
Wow. That's Kandor. That's the city of Kandor.
Okay, this does not look like this is gonna end well. For you guys.
For you guys. See, okay. I won't say anything until after. Whoa, is that a sword?
No, it's a pretty small group of two.
Oh, is that Lobo?
He sees the good in everyone.
He sees the good in
everyone. And I see the truth.
That was good. That was good. That was good. Man, okay. Right off the bat, let me tell you the things I loved about this. I love the space aginess of it. I love that they are really showing a universe of the DC. And I know many people have said that, but what I mean is they are showing that there are many different aesthetics and viewpoints in this universe, right? I know there are people that have come down on the new Superman for being too cartoony or too Boy Scouty. I mean, he's called the Big Blue Boy Scout. So, in the DC Comics, that's Superman. Everybody doesn't agree with his style. They admire him, they like him, and they don't want him to change, right? Batman has said many times in the comics, that's Clark, and that's who he is. I like that. I'm not that way, though, right? That's okay. I really don't understand this when people come down on Supes, especially the way that James Gunn has shown him in his movies. That is how he is in the comics, okay? Maybe a little less whiny, but this is the younger version of Superman that's starting out, 3 years. But overall, Gunn has got the ideal Superman. And I like that because Gunn himself is not that way, right? He's even said in his interviews, Superman is the first superhero movie I've really made. All the other hero movies I've made were not really superheroes. They were people that were thrust into heroic situations. Superman is the first that I've made that, he is a hero from the heart. He was brought up that way, raised on the farm, okay? But once again, that's okay that everybody in that world doesn't agree with him, that they admire him, but they don't agree with his style, and everybody doesn't even like him, right? Like Guy Gardner. Well, Guy Gardner is like that friend that constantly is annoyed by you, but is endeared by your wussiness, I guess. But he's still friends in that way. Okay, we've all had that type of friend that is annoyed or pretends to be annoyed with us, but still likes to hang around. So what are we doing Saturday night? That's how they are at the end of the day, right? But I like that because this is showing a universe. It's showing many different palettes, many different aesthetics, many different viewpoints. Okay. And Kara Zor-El is showing that wow, she's not like her cousin. I'm sure underneath she admires him, and even in what we just saw just then, she says, yeah, he sees the good in people. She likes that part about him, but I see the truth. Okay. I like that. In the Snyder films, which I did like for what they were, some of them. Okay. I love Man of Steel. But it seems like the entire palette of the Snyder universe that was being built was under one aesthetic. The kind of murky, dark feel casts his shadow over everything. It's okay for Batman to be that way, but not Superman. That's the one thing that I was like, I know. And granted, that many times that comes from the viewpoint or the lens of one visionary, right? That has good points with it, right? The vision of Snyder's films and the universe he was building were very consistent. You could tell this is one artisan making this, right? But Gunn, at the same time, I think he has that certain aesthetic as well, but he was able to pull back some of his style choices and kind of rein himself in a bit with Superman, right? Some people say that, oh, no, it's still a James Gunn movie. Well, of course, every artist, every filmmaker is going to have their stamp on it in some way. But he reined himself in, okay? Superman, Clark, in his movie is not Star-Lord, okay? I don't care what people say. No. Star-Lord is an airhead. He's a lovable airhead, but he's an airhead. Superman is not that. No. He's intelligent. He's bold and able to keep his romantic desires in check for the greater good, right? Not Star-Lord, but that's what we like about him, okay? But he has a quirky nervousness about him that shows himself to be a farm boy at heart, right? But Kara Zor-El, wow, her story is very different. I don't know if you don't know. Maybe you want to turn away from right now what I'm about to say. You still here? Okay. So she witnessed the destruction of Krypton, right? She's actually chronologically older than Clark is, but she got stuck in space with her ship and wasn't able to get to Earth until later once he grew up. So she remembers and she's traumatized by that. And I love that they're showing that and therefore her lens of life based on what she went through, right? Showing it blow up. I love that they showed Kandor. I believe that's what it is because they showed it, that part of that city in Krypton. Kandor is a city in Krypton, on Krypton. And it was going up into the air and looked like it had like a protective bubble surrounding it, escaping Krypton, I guess. I don't know how they're going to do it. It could be a little different. I don't know. But I like that because that is also two things in one. One, it is showing the more modern era of comics with Kara being depressed and this edgy character that's dealing with PTSD, right? That's a more modern storytelling, style. But then on the flip side, we have the Silver Age because the whole, Kara Zor-El being a thing anyway, and her city of Kandor being a bottled city that Superman keeps in his fortress, ever trying to find out a way to restore it to its natural size. That is a Silver Age element. That did not exist until the Silver Age introduced it. So I like how they're balancing this, and even this storyline that I've never read about her going on this adventure in space, and even with the trench coat. That's a more modern story that came out. I don't know. You tell me. Was that 5 years ago? 6 years ago? If you guys know, let me know. You know the story I'm talking about, right? That's the aesthetic. It looks awesome, man. And wow, Lobo. That is what's the dude's name from? He played Aquaman. What's his name? Jason Momoa. Oh, Jason. I'm so sorry. Jason Momoa. He's playing Lobo. So that was awesome. I caught that one shot. I saw the red eyes, a little bit of the white face, the cigar. That was Lobo. You can't run that on me. It was quick, but I got it. Okay. Man. I feel like I want to watch this again. Let me just watch it again. If you guys are still here, let's go on the second time for this, okay? Let's do it. That is so cool. Okay, let's start it again. 3, 2, 1, go. He's licking the bottle. What happened to your cape, buddy? I want to see the cape. Superman saves him. That's so bogus. Come on.
You managed to get most of it on the paper this time. Good job, buddy.
Love the aesthetic. Is that like a bus stop for space buses? That's so cool and quirky.
Hereby declare the 23 will be the best year yet.
They got disco balls in space, huh?
Let's be honest, babe. It's not a very high bar to clear.
Craig Gillespie.
I didn't know any of
To
you
look
still
him up.
alive. What was it like to lose everything in the day?
Krypton didn't die in a day. The gods are not that kind.
Whoa, that shot of her screaming in space is wow. The visuals in this are amazing.
Okay, this does not look like this is gonna end well. For you guys.
Let me pause this. It says this summer, let me pause it. There's a guy standing there in the doorway, fire. One other thing I love about this is that it is showing, this looks like she's fighting people that are either her same strength level or she's on another planet, like it said, red suns, right? So that the alcohol can affect her, but that also means that her superpowers are dulled down, right? But one of the criticisms against Superman was that people said that he was too weak. But what I love about it is what's actually happening, in my opinion, is that James Gunn and this guy, who is ever making this, is showing what it's actually like to be reading a comic book with these characters. Because in the comics, they regularly fight people that are at least the same strength level as them. That's how it goes. They're fighting cosmic enemies. And it's not ending in one issue, right? The battle is raging on. The adventure is raging on. Sometimes 4, 5, sometimes 6 issues. All-Star Superman was like, I think it was almost 2 years that comic lasted, right? And he fought many challenges. People that really brought the pain. They were putting it on him, seriously. That's fun. That's exciting. That's thrilling, right? I think what happened is, ever since the first Christopher Reeve Superman movie, people were so used to, remember, this is the public, general public that doesn't read the comics. They're so used to Superman being triumphant, right? Stops robbers, bullets bounces off of him, which is true. But you can't have 70 years of a comic with him fighting a burglar, right? Every issue. That's not what happens. I mean, he fights alien invasions. He fights, Krypton's, AI computers that have tried to destroy other planets. I mean, that's epic, right? So I like that they're showing more of that in this. Like I said, I don't know which it is. I don't know if it's she's fighting people that are her same strength level, or she's on the other planets with a red sun where she's weakened, or both, mix of both. I don't know, but that's exciting. Okay, let's continue, guys, in the doorway. Boom.
Do others on your planet have powers
That was
like
cool
you?
the way she did that with the sword.
No, it's a pretty small group of two.
I noticed that mostly she's not wearing her outfit.
What's Superman like?
What is Superman like?
He sees the good in everyone. And I see the truth.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I like that she said that though, because in real life, you know, you need people, both types, right? You need certain leader types that are visionary, idealistic, right? And they're able to go forward, right, with the vision and drive things forward. And then you need other leader types that work together with them or are supporting them, that tap them on the shoulder every once in a while, let them know, like, hey, look, what you're saying is real. That's the ideal. That's what we're moving towards. But practically, this is how things had to get done. You know, I'm a missionary too, as I said, you know, in other videos. So I'm a Bible teacher. So this is exciting. I'm really looking forward to seeing this because I went to the theater with my second time seeing Superman. I went to the theater with 4 of my students. There's a ladies class, art class here that I teach, and we all went to see Superman, and we had a ball in that theater. We thought that nobody would laugh because in Japanese theaters you're not supposed to laugh. I got shushed for being too excited watching Star Wars: The Force Awakens. I mean, the girl next to me, woman next to me, not my student, was like, "Urusai!" hit my chair. Urusai means shut up, you're loud. I was like, it's a Wookiee. Look at him. He's groaning. I can't laugh at that. This is not Schindler's List. So I was so surprised that in Superman, I was the first to laugh out loud in the theater. And then everybody else in the theater, other Japanese folks, they just got comfortable. We all had a ball in there. People were laughing and joking and looking back at me in the theater like, who did that? Who started this? Anyway, guys, thank you so much. If you liked my reaction, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, you can give me a thumbs down. It's fine. Come back for more. Like and subscribe. God bless you wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you next time on the sofa.